everybody, and welcome to Music Real Talk with Marbin. If you like what you're hearing, please subscribe. Dive bombs always remind like when you like do the pinch harmonic dive bomb thing, it always reminds me of that sound in the game Worms. There's like an airstrike sound.
Oh yeah.
It's like I don't know, since a tender age.
What does
This is
piccolo
episode 24.
snare reminds you?
Piccolo snare of poor judgment, bad calls. We were in the studio tracking what album is this from? Goatman. And what the engineer was like, I have this piccolo snare, and Blake was like, I'm gonna use it.
Didn't you buy? Are you sure?
Yeah, it was there in the studio.
Oh,
and somebody bought a
I thought
piccolo.
you just bought it.
No.
Because we told him to stop to bringing it on tour.
Yeah, he kept playing the piccolo snare because he saw somebody do it. Fucking Blake, there was. I just remember. One of the stupidest moments I've ever seen in any band history was when we were playing in Norman, Oklahoma, and there was a band opening for us, and Blake was talking to the girl at the door, trying to hit on her, and she was not very receptive to it. And then there was an opening act, and the drummer was a huge black guy.
Yeah, but she couldn't escape. It was really uncomfortable because she was.
She was working the door. Yes.
Yeah.
It's a horrible thing to hit on somebody who's like a door person. That's just a terrible job for a woman who is, I guess, has to deal with creeps because she can't really go anywhere. She needs to protect the door. Yeah, very vulnerable. Anyways, there was this huge black guy playing drums. Like,
it doesn't have to be black.
He was black though, and he played.
But is it relevant for the story?
Yeah.
No.
Okay. Well, whatever. This huge does he have a gender?
Nope.
This huge blob, this colorless blob of non-sexually specific thing was just wailing on the drums, crushing it, playing really well, like power gospel, playing non-stylistic specific music. And, just crushing the drums. And since he was he was really good. Since he was about like 10.5 foot tall, his cymbals were very, very high. He was playing on Blake's drum set. We shared.
He did the thing that you also put the cymbals
The cymbals
up,
really
like
high.
some of our raw guys do
Now,
it, right? Because
we were
good.
taking the stage after this opener finished, and I was like, hey, and Blake was just like, okay. And I was like, don't you want to set up the drums? Because this motherfucker always took like 40 minutes to set up.
No, it didn't take 40 minutes. It took hours to set up. I used to have bets with him if he can do stuff in under 2 hours, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like set up his drums. And he always would do things that he would call adjustments.
Yeah.
Like
he was not well adjusted.
He kept adjusting the drums. So he would take like millimeters, like take the cymbal just a little bit down, just a little bit up. You see it sometimes with guitar players or bass players that just keep moving
fidgeting with shit.
Yeah, fidgeting with stuff, but like he would not stop. He would never stop. For hours he could fidget with stuff.
I would always
and if he would miss something, like if he would play something and miss it, he would be like, oh, it's because I need to make an adjustment.
Yeah.
Right? So it got to the drum set and it made no adjustment.
He just didn't touch it. And you could see, he's a short guy, and
like,
you could see that he would need to like literally jump on a pogo stick to reach the fucking
like
crash cymbal.
Like usually he makes minor adjustment, and he just sat on a drum set that was
set up for a huge, genderless, raceless guy.
Yeah.
And
person.
Yeah, person. Sorry. I can't stop using the gendered talk. It's a problem.
Because you're a Nazi.
Yeah, well, the Nazi party didn't hand out the pamphlets yet. Anyways, so we all look at each other like, and it makes so little sense, but everybody in the band knows what's going on. In his mind, the door lady was very impressed by the huge guy's drum chops, and Blake needed to sit down and somehow imitate his size.
I know, it's worked for him. It's like if you see somebody that you like playing guitar when you were a kid and you want to buy the gear,
Yeah.
same thing.
So, but the
Just
whole
much more,
show,
just much more immediate.
the whole show was so funny because he's like a short guy and he kept like missing the cymbals because he couldn't physically reach them.
It's just insane. He was just, he did insane stuff, this guy. I wish I could tell the story of what just happened, but it's on Facebook, but I cannot.
No, it's too mean.
But it's not. You know what I mean? It's not too mean, but yes.
Talking about mean, I had
Good.
I saw something that made me think of something when I'm not an Oznoy fan. He has a great nickname, by the way. Did you ever hear it? Odd Noise.
Odd noise? Who said that? Oh, I know who said it. Never mind. That's perfect.
Odd Noise. Anyways, but I do. Every time I see him, I feel like I click on it to just see like how like Dave Weckl and John Petrucci and
Well, you
Willie,
also had,
and
you did the thing with him, the interview.
yeah, I did do that.
Oh, but he took it off.
He took it off, yeah, but yeah, he didn't want people to see his apartment for some reason. I don't know.
Bad feng shui.
Yeah, but so I feel like I'm checking up on
Wait,
these.
can we do a detail?
Yeah.
So when we played in North Carolina, in New Mexico. I won't go to both stories. I'll just go to one story. We had this crazy old lady that offered us to stay with her. And a lot of stuff happened, but when we got to her house, it was a humongous mansion. I don't remember the size of her land was 50-something football fields. It was insane.
Yeah. Thousands of acres.
And
Mansion.
Yeah, huge mansion in the valley, and animals and stuff. It's
This is in Santa Fe.
outside of Santa Fe.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's crazy. Right? A lot of rich people apparently live there, and we could never imagine when she offered us to stay with her what it would look anything like that. And then the next day we played in. No, the next day
that was in Taos.
That was in Taos.
Yeah,
that was in Taos. Next day was Santa Fe. And we played in this barbecue joint, and this lady offered...
Old lady again.
And Dani didn't want to stay with her. And I was like, listen, we just stayed with this lady.
Old ladies in New Mexico.
It was great. It's like, we don't know. Let's see.
Yeah, the other
if
one
it's
looked
bad,
just as
we'll go.
crazy.
And I had to convince Dani. And I was like, if it's not going well, we'll just leave. And we went to, a lot of stuff happened on the way.
This Mexican guy, this raceless guy jumped in the car with us like a 20-year-old talking a lot of shit. It was very weird.
He was very hyped,
Yeah.
that guy.
Yeah.
Might have been on...
We gave him the drop off.
Yeah, we gave him a drop. You gotta give him the drop off here, man. Fuck you, man. You're giving me the drop off here. Anyway, so we went to her house, and it was in some sort of like halfway something.
It was a halfway home. It was like
I don't know what it
super
was
shady.
because I've never been in one of those. But it was like some kind of government
It was not all the way.
stuff. It's like it was governed. It was governed by the government.
It didn't look like
Yeah.
she didn't look like she was halfway to a normal life,
and we
honestly.
came and we went in, and it was a tiny 2-bedroom, but tiny.
Like a mattress
like an apartment
with no sheets on it, with
Yeah,
like
it was
shit
so
stains.
dirty. Everything was destroyed everywhere, and she had a plastic fountain in the middle
Like when you
of
buy
the
at
kitchen.
Target.
Yeah, not even Target. It's just
Somebody bought it in Target,
like
and you bought it
Ace.
in Goodwill's.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly, and just like a plastic tub, and everything was a mess. Everything was destroyed in the apartment, and I pointed at the fountain, and I said, "Nice fountain," and it said, "Yeah, I'm really into feng shui."
So Odd Noise is into feng shui too, I guess.
Yeah, so we tried to, we didn't want to insult her, but there was no way we were going to stay with her. So I said, I forgot my phone charger in the car. And I just left. And Dani said, "Me too!"
Ran
and
after it.
ran out. And then Jay also started running. And Justin stayed behind
Yeah.
and got it on with her. And we had to wait, and somebody called the police on us.
Yeah, it was quite a night. It was quite a week. Every night was a night back
And they just missed Jay, because Jay
then. Was smoking weed.
was
in the
smoking
van.
weed, but
And it wasn't legal yet.
But it just, is it legal now in New Mexico?
Oh, I thought.
Anyway, he left the van 5 minutes before or 2
Yeah.
minutes before the police got there. So it was perfect timing.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
It was fine.
It
But-
worked out, but it was a mess.
Yeah, and Justin wouldn't answer his phone, and we wouldn't go back up.
Yeah.
Well, we couldn't anyway.
Yeah.
But it's great times.
Anyway, back to my thought about odd noise. So every time I see a video, I feel like I'm looking at these sidemen, these famous ones, just kind of like to check in, and they don't look like they're doing well. You know what I mean? Like you look, they kind of getting more and more like battered and out of shape. And
Well, they're
not
getting old.
together. They're getting old too. But I feel like a lot of the fusion kind of A-team, you know what I mean, for a sideman, like drummers, bassists, all that crew, like Vinny Colaiuta. Like I had this thought that it's a lot like these like ladies that were like in a good marriage, like they started off good with like somebody who cared about them and might have not been like the most exciting lifestyle, but like, it's like, yeah, like, I don't know, even Vinny actually started with Zappa. He was probably like a great guy,
Yeah.
but then it didn't work out. He fucked around on him, and then he went and got with like a really flashy guy, like with Sting. And that kind of fizzled through once, like, he played all his chops for him. He stopped getting excited about the relationship, started fucking around with other drummers. And then they're just now in like a series of these like abusive relationships with people who like make non-serious records.
You know what I thought about it? Actually, that... Okay, I'm going to blow everybody's mind right now. But money... actually is nothing. It's just piece of paper, man.
Oh my God, I should buy Dogecoin. It just blew my mind.
Okay, so no, but I'll explain why I say this cliche, because there is a point. Okay, so
The point is value.
no, yes, the point is value, but so a lot of people obviously understand that money is just paper, right? And
That represents
we're good.
value.
Okay, it represents value, but that's another thing that I always talk about representation. It's the closest thing we have to represent value, but it doesn't really represent value. What do I mean? I mean, Charlie Parker changed my life, right? He completely changed my life. Like I got into this world of saxophone because of him, and everything that happened in my life really happened. Not everything, but a ton of what happened in my life happened because of that. So he gave my life enormous value. I gave him no money. So I'm saying it doesn't always... Yes, it's what we have as a good representation a lot of time, but it's not a perfect representation. Right? And when a lot of us people, they start at doing something that has usually a lot of value, right? That not necessarily shows itself at the time, right? Because Zappa's music still has, obviously, it has a lot of value to a lot of people.
Sure.
It's like it's, and him and what he did, and even after the fact. And, not talking about the shows and everything, which obviously is even better. So they start doing stuff with a lot of value, and later they might get paid more money, but the way less value. Do you understand what I'm saying?
It's weird. We are in a place, I feel, that artificially there's some scarcity around our playing in some ways, mainly because people don't want us on their records, But it is causing a situation that in reality, if you want to hear us playing, you're always just hearing us playing in very thought out situations. We really control our output. There's a real problem if you want let's say you're a Vinny Colaiuta fan. Vinny has at this point played on so many terrible albums that it's just hard to sift the fucking, corn from the poop. Because it's like, there's a lot of great drumming, but great drumming living in bad songs is bad drumming. You know, there's no two ways about that. You can't be a part of an ensemble and be a very shiny part of a really shitty machine. It just doesn't work like that. We take it in as bad music. And these people have just been, I think, because at this point, like, let's say, forget about fusion, but like you're a metal guy or something. Are you still excited when you see that the drummer from Dream Theater is playing on somebody's side project? Or
Specifically, they are, I think,
like, what do you
still excited.
Well, no, I don't think so. What do you imagine happened? That they went and
No,
hung
you
out?
saw him at the cruise. Is
Who?
the drummer from Portnoy.
Oh, Portnoy?
Yeah, but it's a funny.
I kept thinking that he's just a Prague fan.
Yeah, but it's Cordy.
Yeah. Dude, it's like walking around in shorts. He looks dirty. It's like, dude, like you don't look famous.
We walked in shorts too.
Yeah, but you know, we're not the drummer in Dream Theater.
Yeah, that's also true.
I mean, I feel like if you're trying to prop up this rock star persona.
Yeah, we also didn't act like we were famous. That's
Yeah,
true.
we don't do that. But that's not the point. The point is, like, I think when I was growing up, when there was a collaboration, right, of powerhouses in whatever genre, my young person imagination was like, oh, it's so cool. They're all like getting together and they're excited about this and they're forming a band.
It's the best friends combo.
Yeah, and they're gonna like talk about like how they do things and it's gonna be amazing. They're gonna be like, dude, today it's literally like an email. It starts like, like, what's his, hey Mike, I'm making an album and I'm such a big fan of Dream Theater. I'll pay you like, $900 a track and I have 10 tracks. Will you do it? And he's like, and he's like thinking and he's like,
yeah, Tom. He does it at Tom. Everybody does it at Tom.
And he's like looking at his like schedule. It's like he has to pick up his kids from soccer. And he's like, doesn't really want to do it. But he's like, okay, Venmo me half in advance. And then he sits there and he listens. And he literally like listens twice.
Didn't we meet this kid?
Something, yeah. He didn't look like he's good at soccer.
Yeah, what's that?
But anyways, the point is that like these collaborations are just dudes sitting at home with minimal communication, minimal effort.
It used to be, I think, just the same bullshit. Like some producer is like, let's bring this guy and that guy together.
But at least
and we can sell it.
There was so much distance between the people in the process of making music, like that you would know that they'd go to the studio. You actually would have to go to the studio, so you'd have to have some interaction. But even that, it was all veiled in this beautiful 90s cloud of marketing.
Super Friends.
Yeah, Super Friends. But it's just so far from the reality now. I just don't understand who's excited about it. And every time I see... Dani, you keep getting COVID every time you're here.
I actually don't have COVID because I got tested yesterday.
Yeah, we're doing audio too. We all officially don't have COVID. Unless
Everett has it.
Yeah. Well, did he not get a test?
He's getting it today.
Oh, okay. So, in any case, what was I saying? Super Friends. Oh, yeah, the fusion collaboration, like when they start a super band, where it's like Scott Henderson, Jeff Berlin, and Dennis Chambers are putting out a CD. It seems to me like it's such a bad call these days that you're just taking... Really, like, how do you go back to the value of you alone once you've cashed in those chips?
I tell you what's also really strange about the super bands, that in Fusion, every band was a super band.
Right. They were just dudes, and if they played well together, they all became
like
famous.
Tribal Tech is a super band.
Right. Gary Willis is not like a super bassist.
And
Kirk Covington.
Exactly.
Scott, yeah, and Scott Kinsey.
Yeah, but we don't have a keyboardist because...
Right, who needs one?
Yeah, but I'm saying, it's like, it was a super band already.
Right.
So to bring the guy from Tribal Tech and a guy from a different band, it's just... it's just weird.
Can you imagine what would need to happen for us to accept a keyboard player to our band?
A lot of people want to join us as a keyboard player. There's no way.
I hate it.
You have to get... a bigger van. It's like, it's...
Forget the bigger van. What would you do with one?
No. Not musically. Forget musically. I'm saying there is a thing about how the difference between 3 and 4 kids, it's a huge difference financially because you have to get a bigger car. So it's the same thing with us. If we're going to get another kid, it's like we're going to have no room in the van. Well, I guess with Ben. But no, because you're going to have more gear.
Well, forget about room in the van. I'm talking about musically. Like... keyboards fucking ruin fusion in my book.
Yeah, it depends on the person. Can it be done theoretically? Maybe.
I don't know. I mean, like, I like Zawinul, kind of. I like George Duke. I like
Again, it
some
depends on the
people.
person.
But, like, when they made that transition from Wurlitzers and organs into, like, digital synths.
Into Node.
And, dude, Mason just sent me, like, he's like, what do you think about this guitar tone? And it was, like, Steve Lukather playing over what could only be described as airy synth choir pads, and it was like literally, it's like the guitar tone was killer, but I'm like listening to this and it's literally like, I don't even know how to describe the atmosphere. It's like you're in an underwater magic world that's also like 90s porn.
Lukather sounds like the
Like,
abbreviation of Lex Luthor.
Yeah, but yeah, the music was just so ridiculous. It's like it looked like a scene in a porn where like a lady's about to get banged by an orca. It's so fucking out there. And it's like, what do you think about the guitar tone? It's like, who can listen to the guitar tone at a time like this, dude? Why is there a fucking airy? First of all, there's a choir with 10 strange voices that are moving in like an unwritten way. It's like piano voicing choir, and it's all just like 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 big chords, and he's like just playing kind of bluesy on it. Very strange choices. Very strange choices some people are making. I don't know, when you start becoming like a tone guy and you just like do things to demonstrate the tone you got.
But like the Jan Garbarek thing with the choir.
Yeah.
People,
but that was better.
Yeah, but it's so funny to me how people that love that choir hated that album and are complaining on YouTube.
Why?
Because they thought, why is Jan Garbarek playing on this choir? It's like he's ruining it with his saxophone.
Oh.
But yeah,
choir people bought the record?
Yeah, well, I don't know.
Weird.
They listen on YouTube. But no, what I'm saying is that when you're a tone guy, you have to find the background where you can show your tone.
Right.
Because it can't be... Like Jan Garbarek can't really play with a drummer. Like, he can play fusion.
Right. When the music is busy, you don't have time for your ambient effects. It's just they become wash.
Yeah. Also, if there is too much stuff with mids, it's gonna go over your tone.
Yeah.
So you have to find ways to do tone things. It's like, it's just me and a harp, stuff like that.
Well, that's the funny thing in general about like reverbs. Like nice reverbs, we have to set them in a really unnatural, a real reverb has some pre-delay, like for those of you who don't know what pre-delay is, it's the time, the millisecond lapse in time until you hear the reflection. But if you detach the reverb from the note and there's cymbals and you're playing fusion, it doesn't sound like it belongs to your instrument. The way it sounds in like a mix or in a live setting is that you have your dry tone and then there's just noise, room sound.
Yeah.
So you want to somehow have the sound, the ambient sound emitted directly from the sound, which is obviously an unnatural kind of thing. It's very tricky to get good tone for your band, because you have to play with your band all the time and really understand what works and what doesn't work in the context. It's very, I think these days what happens most of the time is that you sit at home with your rig and you really dial it in as if everything needs to happen with what you made at home. And you need to somehow get the people in your band to play different to flatter that.
Good luck.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Steve Rodby told us that.
What?
That you can't change anyone. You might as well not hire them.
Yeah, well, what he said is that with a lot of editing, you can bring people
from
the second...
editing. I'm not talking about the editing. I'm talking when you are in the studio.
Oh, no, that you can't change players, yeah.
Yeah.
And just hire the listen to how they play now and expect them to just stay the same. But he said that with editing, this is great advice, with editing you can make somebody that sounds like he's in second grade sound like he's in fourth grade.
Yeah.
And that's really so true. You cannot expect fixing time to. You can't make something sounds awesome. You can't make something from not.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's so. I think there's something about rhythmic accuracy. I've explained to some students, like in the context of a dancer. If you take a look at a really great dancer that just looks awesome when they're dancing, and you measure the time that the soles of their shoes hit the floor, right? And you really practice hitting the floor in the exact spots in the exact moments in time, and then you go and do it, and you actually nail the actual time spots with your feet on the floor, you still are probably going to look awkward as fuck because there's a whole body attached to it, and the way you sway and the whole way that you need to learn to move gracefully. That's really the trickier things about rhythm. And when you fix people's time, yeah, you can move these things and make eighth notes more locked in, more accurate. But if it's not graceful, there's so many more considerations.
It's more like you can hide it in the music. Really, that's what I think.
Yeah, at the expense of something, at the expense of the parts don't really work on their own once you fix them too much.
Yeah,
they just sound like it's like making a collage, right? It's like you have something that's like cut with scissors and pasted on a picture.
Yeah, but again, it's really, you really put it in the background.
Yeah.
Like if you take a bass and you match it perfectly to the drums, it's just it's immediate. There's a drum hit taking some of the space every time there's a bass note. So
I wonder how strange of a listening experience it would be for somebody who died in like 1950 to hear the music of today.
Probably terrible.
Yeah, just like a machine. Everything just sounds way too like not human, not flowy.
Yeah.
But yeah, back to the value talk. I mean, yeah, I think some of these people have been on just way too many albums. Like when I look at like some discographies of these sidemen and like Michael Brecker, people like that, and they're like on 1,000 albums. Like, dude, it's like that. I mean, great for you for getting the work, but it's like, man, some of these are probably pretty terrible.
Yeah, but I don't know. I also wonder what they think, because there is a lot of saxophone players love how Brecker plays on with James Taylor, and I think it's horrible. Like I hate it. It's so boring. It's just not good. I don't know. It's not good for me. And I see a lot of saxophone players that say this is the best Michael Brecker solo. Was all the best Michael Brecker solos. But I also don't like James Taylor. So
yeah,
I just don't know. I don't know what to say about it. It's just weird. So maybe he liked it.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe he liked it. Maybe he thought
looked
it was
like
awesome.
he liked it. He had James Taylor sing on his album.
Yeah, but again, in
probably
retrospect,
sold some albums.
it's some producer decided everything.
Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I think. I don't think they decided anything. I think those artists from that area couldn't pick their own socks. That's what I think. I think those people...
Somebody else was just running their lives?
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
It's just I can't see it any other way. It just makes no sense to... Like, I just know what it's like to be a person that makes music for a living.
Yeah.
And I know that I would never... It's not just... I would never make decisions in this vein. Do you know what I mean? It's like it will make 0 sense for somebody to make those decisions. So it's like there's no way that they made it. I just know.
Yeah. Yeah, I can see that. It would be very...
And listen,
I mean, I definitely think they didn't dress themselves. Because they started dressing ridiculously.
Sometimes it works. I'm not saying it never works, right? I'm not saying it never works to do like a Coltrane ballads or Coltrane with Johnny Hartman.
Right.
I'm not saying it can't work and be good. I'm just saying that...
It's not their idea.
And that Coltrane was... Like, look what he did. It just makes no sense that he was like, oh, you know what I should do? The same old fucking standards that I'm sick of playing, but I should do it with this dude.
Yeah.
That's on the same record label. Whoo, what a coincidence. There's no way. You heard George Benson tell you how it went with him.
Yeah, that somebody found the songwriters, chose the songs.
Yeah. And he said that he didn't even think it was a good idea on a lot of them, and he's like, I was wrong.
Yeah.
I was like, cool, but the point is like,
and became a millionaire.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's I can't imagine that. I can't imagine that world where you just make music and music was worth money. And there was a whole business and teams of people just trying to like make themselves valuable and like an actual integral part of a team that's meant to like succeed. It's over for so long that we've really never had any brush ups with it. We've had brush ups with the fallout when we started, but by now all of that air has been out of that bubble for so long.
Yeah, that's another thing. I heard Louis C.K. actually talk about it. But I thought about it again, like I talked about it back in the day, but I thought about it again because I've been reading, for the last 2 years, I've been reading children's book to my daughter every day, and the drawings and the paintings are so terrible on those old Israeli books, because it was all somebody in the kibbutz that the kibbutz secretary had to give a job to somebody to draw it, and they're so awful that I could draw like that. You know, it's terrible. It looked like somebody with some sort of syndrome that painted them, because it's just awful paintings. And then it just made me think about how in art, and that's what Louis C.K. said. He said the best. He said Shakespeare wrote alone.
Yeah.
Right, and sometimes would be like maybe I don't know Shakespeare, and then he has an editor. Right, but it's one person writing, one person kind of helping to clean it up. And those are the best work of art
in history.
In history, in any culture, that somebody made alone.
Sure.
And you can see
Leonard
it.
Cohen
You can
wrote
see
the
it now.
songs all
Yeah.
by himself. Yeah.
You can see it now. It's and when he
Beethoven,
didn't, and when he
Mozart.
didn't, it was worse.
Right.
Right. And you can see it now. Bill Burr is, Bill Burr, Tom Segura, our favorite comedians. They write their own specials.
Sure.
But when you look at the Tonight Show, I don't know if like one show or SNL or
A late night show.
or late night show, or you look at the Golden Globes and you see
It's cringy.
it's so bad, but
Yeah.
there is a room full of idiots that wrote it.
Yeah. Some of them might actually be funny too.
No, probably not. Maybe it's like Louis said that he was on on SNL, and he said that in a year he got nothing in.
Yeah.
They didn't take any of his things, and Larry David said the same thing. Like they didn't take any of her ideas.
Yeah.
And it's like there is something about art that, people that make good art, but it has to be a little bit out there. And
It can survive a committee because it doesn't seem like it's going to work before it works.
yes, but
you gotta
need,
put it out
but you
there.
need too much content basically that has to be produced in a way that's just more consistent, right? So they can't wait until they have 5 comedians that write great skits for
No,
them.
they have to
SNL
make it every fucking
week.
Friday,
So they
yeah.
have to bring people that are not really creative. They have to bring people that are
They're just doing the job.
doing the
Meet
job
the
of being
deadline.
doing the job of being creative, of
Sure.
doing something that's pretending to be creative.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's so insane to me because it just sucks. Like everything that you have a committee do fucking suck. And we see it in festivals too and everything.
Sure.
Once it's a few people, because, usually even if it's a one person decides, and we see it also with some festivals and some venues, when one person decides, you can have some fucking shitty things come in, and or like their taste is going to be really skewed towards one thing, right? But there is a much bigger chance, from our experience, like if you go to John Brown, there's a much bigger chance you're going to see a great show than if you have a committee that decides of, I don't know, the
Or a corporate structure or a booking agency.
yeah, like that decide on like the barbecue festival for Andersonville.
Yeah.
Right?
You're gonna have 30 cover bands.
Like the judgment of one person is much better than the judgment of 10 people.
Well, I mean, I really think the difference between, like, let's say, a rib fest and your city block party run by the subcommittee of the city and a guy like John Brown is that the subcommittee of the city asks, what do the people like? And John Brown asks what I like.
Yeah.
And that's really the crucial bit, because once you are in this mode, and I think that's true even for an artist, if you are asking yourself questions like, what do people like?
Yeah, but the producers,
you
right?
you are already making a caricature of people who you perceive to be stupider than you, liking something that's more common taste. But that caricature is just basically you're like an idiotic version of yourself. You don't know what people actually like. All you can do is imagine stupid people. So it's your version of stupid people. So you're just aiming at stupid shit, and you're going to find it because it's everywhere. If I like, oh, what do people like? The 80s.
Well, we get it all.
80s cover bands.
We get it all the time
Right.
with jazz festivals, that we had a lot of people all over, like in the States and outside of the States, telling us, yeah, I just don't think people are into fusion. I like it, but I don't think, people, like the people like it. And I was like, well, back in the day we didn't as much, but we have like 150,000 followers on Facebook, 200,000. Some of our videos have 1 million views. We sell tickets everywhere.
Right.
And then I see the people that play on that festival, they sell tickets nowhere.
Right.
Right? Nobody cares about them. But so why do I need to prove that some people like my music and they don't have to prove it?
Right. Yeah, it's terrible. It's a terrible thing. I mean, we all hold so little information about the public. We all have this like idea of what the public likes, what people are, what people do. That's just fed to us.
Well, the thing with
mostly
people
by
like
fantasy.
Beyonce, right? Beyonce, Scott Henderson's favorite singer. So Beyonce, okay. It's like if you audition somebody for a job, interview somebody for a job, and you pick someone, you have no idea if you pick the best person that you could have picked, right? So with Beyonce, we're like, oh yeah, we succeeded. Hey, but also they have a lot of fails, right? They put a lot of money into people that nothing happens. Mm-hmm. But we're like, oh, with Beyonce or Rihanna, and we put 50 million into them, and now we made, 700 million. I don't know. We put 5 million, make 700 million. But it's like, maybe put 5 million into me. Maybe I'll succeed too. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like I proved I can succeed
with no budget.
With no budget.
Right.
She didn't prove it. She didn't play those fucking shitty bars.
Yeah, she started a different place.
Yeah, I'm just saying it makes no.
It doesn't make sense. But yeah, I could see why you'd give the money to Beyonce though.
Yeah, because if you have a committee, and the committee will never decide to put the money on a fusion band.
Right.
Because why would they? It's insane.
Yeah, it is insane.
Yeah, but because the committee will never be like, yeah, but they're awesome. Dun, 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 dun. And our saxophone come in. Look, it's tiny. And then they shred on it. How long is the song?
Oh my
8
God.
minutes.
It's like the two lines they're playing. They're so tight. Sounds like one line.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They would never say that. They would say, oh, but she's hot.
Look how she shakes her ass.
She's hot. Wow, she's a really good singer and she's hot.
It's like
a hot
dance
singer.
Move. Wait a second.
Can she dance?
Wait a second. Can we find like 8 other girls to dance the same moves, but only she sings? Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we need... Oof, who knows what's sexy? Let's get a gay guy to choreograph it.
It'd be great for the music if they change outfits after every song.
Yeah. It's just ridiculous. That's what I'm saying. Comedy is just, it's the worst.
So now it looks like things are going to start opening up again. And you told me that like some shows now are having only seated thing. What's that going to do to like bands like Turquoise? And like shows of like jam band people come there to shake it. Like for us, we can certainly play for a sit down audience.
It's not as fun though.
It's not as fun, but we could do it. It won't be that bad. But for some bands I know, this is like a death sentence for a while. Like could you imagine being at a funk show seated?
Well, it's a death sentence to a lot of venues.
Yeah,
because most
they have to buy tables.
Most shows are not seated, and then you can only sell by the table, which is another problem. Mm-hmm. And then you can only have, I'm guessing you have less people drinking and having a good time if you can only sit at your table.
I think people are very excited to be outside and drink.
Yeah.
I would drink
I think some people would do it, but still. I don't know. I see a lot of venues just won't open.
Yeah.
Or just open one day a week.
Well, they want that PPP money.
Well, it makes sense if it's really hard for them to make money right now.
Sure. 20% capacity, you're basically I mean, you'd have to sell out to maybe break even, I'm guessing.
Well, also something people don't understand that capacity includes the people in the band and the people that working.
Right.
So if you have capacity of 300 and you have, I don't know, it's a turquoise, like 11 people in the band and somebody at the door and bartenders and a manager and a sound guy and, and somebody doing merch, you have like 14 people.
That's already like 5%.
Well, I'm saying it's fine if it's 300 people or 600 people.
But if you're a 50-person venue, you can't open.
Exactly. So
that's bizarre.
Because I was looking at a lot of venues. Because some venues are starting to have shows, like a weekend show here, a weekend show there, because I was trying to figure out if we can do a small tour.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just not consistent enough yet.
Yeah, well, we are doing a festival in, where is it? In Pennsylvania.
Schuylkill.
Schuylkill Hill.
It's what's the name of this area? Little Switzerland or whatever.
Little Switzerland?
Yeah, that's how we called it.
Really?
The Poconos. It's in Poconos.
Oh, okay. Doesn't look like Switzerland.
I don't know, never been, but probably not.
I bought some Swiss Miss.
Yeah.
Didn't look like the box.
No.
But yeah, it's we're doing that show. We're probably going to be doing Fort Wayne, and then we need to find some other dates.
In Ohio.
In Ohio, Indiana area.
Which is not promising.
And it's also hard to come back because John's working full-time now. And it's weird. People, you take a year off touring, people organize their lives.
Life in a way that they can't...
They don't have flexibility.
It's because he can take off for a month because then he'll be like, okay, fuck my job, I'm back in Marbin full-time.
Yeah, but
he can't take for 3 weeks, like 3 days.
Yeah, 3 days here, 3 days there.
Yeah, it's like...
Yeah. We'll see what he's probably listening to this. What are you going to do, John?
Well, we're going to have to talk to him probably before it's coming out. When is this coming out?
Friday.
Yeah, we're going to probably talk to him.
Tomorrow?
No, we're not going to talk to him tomorrow.
We're
going to talk to him tomorrow. We can talk after.
We're doing all of our dirty laundry on air from now on as a band. What are you going to do, John? You're going to stay in that job? You're going to come do weekends with us?
Well, he doesn't know that. We're trying to do the 28th, 29th, 30th. And he already told me he has issues with 29th. So we'll see. We'll see what we're doing.
Problems on the horizon.
We'll see.
It's going to be okay.
I have some ideas.
So we're doing the Gypsy Jazz album, and he insisted on playing bass on it. After I tracked electric bass, and it is going well. It sounds really good. I'll show you some tracks later.
You won't because I won't have time, but yes.
Yeah.
We should probably just go eat and get coffee. I'll go.
That sounds fun. Yeah. That sounds funner than listening to music.
Yeah, I would hear this music enough, I feel like.
Yeah. Yeah, anyways.
And then I just need to do it. That's one of the things that drives me nuts about music now. And I know we do it, but there's I don't want to get too much into it, but it's all things in life. You think you understand you think you understand things. Well, I mean like everybody, but you don't. So well, I talk about a lot. That's a different aspect of it, though. Okay, transcribing, right? Mm-hmm. I'll give a music example. I'm not gonna go.
I just had a student yesterday in Italy. Shout out, David. I know he listens, and he said
he played guitar and make the pizza.
That's That's.
It's me, David.
That's true.
I do stuff in my hand too.
Yeah, it's a pretty good impersonation of an Italian person. I just saw Sopranos. I can vouch. It's very authentic.
Thank you.
But he told me yesterday he was playing gypsy jazz and he transcribed all of tons of Django's solos note per note, wrote them down, and on a live feed, I guess months ago, he was like, what do I do with this now? And I told him on the live feed,
wipe your ass.
yeah, throw it in the trash. And it's so true. It's such a fucking, it's not a waste of time in the sense, because if you never have thought about rhythm, about how to feel the end of beat 3, you learn peripheral things. But if you want, I understand the urge. It's such an urge. It's right there. I love it. I want to take it.
Well, I remember John Lawler, our bassist, did he transcribe it or was it a Jaco book? I think he transcribed a Jaco thing.
Donald Lee or something.
Yeah, and he analyzed it and I was like, can I look? And I looked at it, and he's like, "Oh, look here, it's doing like
Sharp
super
nines.
altered, sharp 9, flat 9." That's, And then I was like, "No, he's playing a blues scale."
Over the whole bar, yeah.
Yeah, it's just a blues scale. You do it. Slash does the same thing.
Yeah.
It's like you have the 4 chord or the 5 chord, and you just play the blues, and it's killer. I know I played on this jazz album of Greg from Indiana, right?
Yeah.
And he had a jazz trumpet player, and a lot of the songs are like the trumpet player just doesn't understand it. What he plays doesn't work here. You have to play blues,
Right.
on that
On
specific
paper,
measure.
it looks like it works.
Yeah, but it doesn't work. It doesn't sound good.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah.
So it's the same. So even when people transcribe, they don't have the tools to analyze it correctly. Mm-hmm. But that's not even where I was going with it. What I was going with is this. So when you transcribe it, what people think they're doing is they think that I'm not even saying what they're getting out of it. What they think they're doing is they write down or learn the music from the recording, right? Mm-hmm. So if you have a way to, let's say, slow down the recording and learn it faster, and that way learn more things, you will it's better. But that's my point. My point is that you don't understand everything that you get. And if you do it on a record, maybe, there are a lot of other things that you're getting at the same time. Like maybe looking on your instrument for everything and not just doing note, because you're
Right.
And maybe you'll find out a lot of things on your instrument.
And also, if it's in the tempo that it was actually performed at, you stand a much better chance at locating a possible way to do it. I see a lot of people, the guitar is an instrument, especially where you can find the same note in a lot of places. Yeah. So if you're just fishing for notes and you're not thinking about how physically they all need to fit together in a phrase with a certain picking pattern, with a certain way of orchestrating it on the instrument, you are bound to actually find a lot of things that there's no way to bring up to speed, that won't actually become physical things on your instrument.
Yeah. So exactly. So I'm saying you miss a lot of the point. Mm-hmm. Like I don't use Amazing Slowdown. I know you don't use it either.
No.
And
because there's no point.
Because we're old, right? If we grew up a little bit.
Well, now that you can slow down YouTube videos, I see the temptation, but I also know enough about learning that I know you can't, like all these things that are shortcuts that are taking a seemingly impossible task and making it easy are not shortcuts. Once you're eliminating that layer of challenge, then you're not learning. The learning is to overcome the challenge.
Yeah. Is that guy still learning my solo on Strong thing, or did he give up, you think?
I don't think he's ever gonna do it.
Yeah, I think it's too much.
I think so.
After you told me that, I listened to that solo and I was like, oh my God.
There was a YouTube or an Instagram transcribing guy, like really technical kind of player. And I wrote him on his channel to transcribe one of Dani's solos, and he said he would, but he never did.
Yeah, because he knows that it's going to be viral. But when he he thought about Strong thing, and it's like, I think it's too much.
It is too much. It's a lot.
But
he transcribed like Michael Brecker's solo on some skunk
song.
I
know.
And everybody did too.
I know, but my solo has so many more notes. Do you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. It's just, if you listen to it and you don't understand rhythm, you'll be like, oh, you can't shred harder than Brecker. And you can't, right? Mm-hmm. But you can play more notes. And that's what I did.
Sure. Well, people are confused when we say shred. I think you don't shred the instrument, you shred the mind. You know, it's about impact.
Yeah.
You know, it's about like doing things that land and that feel like, we've always used that like, it's kind of like running. It's kind of like when you look at barbarian hordes going berserk, just running into battle. That's the feeling Fusion should
more children
evoke.
thinking they're barbarian hordes. Like my mind is blown.
It's running into battle. Yeah, that's the feeling that we've always gone for.
Yeah, so what I was giving an example with the transcribing, I was saying about music, that it fucking sucks that we can't. We wanted to do this Gypsy Jazz album, right? And I think it's gonna be good. But I wish we could just have another two Gypsy Jazz guitar players
And do it for real?
and just go play for a while and then do it for real. Do you know what I mean?
Of course.
And it's just the thing with music now is everybody doing it in their bedroom, and when you combine the bedrooms into one giant bedroom that sounds like music.
Yeah.
And again, we're doing it, and we did, it's not the first thing that we're doing kind of like that, but it's you lose things. Do you know what I mean?
Of course.
Even if you don't understand what you're losing a lot of things, and it's such a fucking bummer. And now musicians that are just so good at editing their shit like it's MIDI. I see all the saxophone players, and some people are not even hiding it anymore. I see cuts in the middle of solos that you can see the camera cut,
Yeah.
but they're not even hiding it.
There used to be much more editing shame.
Well, there isn't, because they're like, that's the way music is.
Yeah.
And it is, they're right.
I just love being one of those bands that could just sound good playing
Yeah,
live.
that's why I like the live stuff, what we just released the videos on the live album.
No editing, just zero
Well,
editing.
we made it in a way that you can
Couldn't.
see that there is no editing. Like, there is no way to do it.
Yeah, well, the saxophone and the
Like, we
drums.
should have used the dynamic mic for the saxophone.
For other reasons, too.
Yeah.
It sounded better.
Yeah, but,
Yeah, we recorded with like an 87.
yeah,
So, yeah.
or whatever we used, but yeah.
The microphone, the sax microphone is basically a room mic
It's a
for
room
the
mic.
drums.
Yeah, it's a room mic that I'm very close to.
Yeah.
So, yeah, there was no editing. And
It's fine, you live with your choices. I mean, that's a part of
it's
being
better,
an
though.
adult.
In a lot of ways, it's better. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Some stuff, well, you hate. But, some stuff on every album I hate.
Well, I mean, when you listen to Charlie Parker's not a good example, but Coltrane certainly is. If you went back and edited a Coltrane album, what percentage of his playing would you keep? Like, there's certainly a lot of things that
Yeah, that messes up a lot.
it's like they're mess ups, but they don't really hurt the songs at all.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's totally fine. A lot of it is the animation of trying to go for
It's
things.
the Tom Waits thing that you can't take away the demons without taking the angels too, basically. But it's like you can't. That's not how it works.
Yeah, it's two sides of the same coin. But I'm saying it's like when you're doing something as I don't know the word, human as Coltrane. It's not about drawing in detail the reality of your vision. It's about drawing your process. It's like it's how you really hear him thinking, and we always talk about where the drama and where like the danger and the courage bit, but there's something about playing jazz. A reason it's interesting is that you get to lay out the way you think in notes and rhythms.
But even playing rock, it's cooler when it's together.
Yeah. No, depends though. I mean, I will say that I can think of like Jeff Beck, for instance, is somebody that I really feel when you put him in a studio really has good taste, but doesn't have great technique. So he knows the sound he wants. Like he gets these. But they're collage artists. That's the truth.
But it's like the more I go up and get older, the less
you care about shit like that. But again, it's like this is the difference between painting and making collages. What's a collage? It's a collection of pretty things you find arranged in space by gluing. And I'm not talking shit about that idiom. That idiom is good, but this the truth is that we were in music. We were conditioned to accept this organic shift without really giving it different names, from like live music to really produced out of time music, to where everything is done separately and in layers.
Recorded music started and then just completely took over of live music. The entire point of recorded music was to capture live music.
Yeah, I mean Louis Armstrong Band, or Django, it's Charlie Parker. It's just a take. It's a good take. There was nothing to do. I mean, I remember when we went to Rodby and he was talking about the books that he had for before everything went digital, because Pat Metheny was an editing Nazi, and they edited tape with a razor, but like thousands of edits per song. And
Yeah,
you had to
insane.
like keep books.
Don't they have like the
of
Miles Davis
moments.
album that we did it too, like Birth of Cool or
Birth
whatever?
of Cool, they
yeah.
did a lot of editing, with a razor, and then they would just kind of take things. But I don't even know how you would do that. Like, what, just blow a note into the tape machine, glue
don't
it
know.
back there, and then re-record it to a new tape. I guess it just seems very difficult. Like you would do that on a real train wreck moment if you had a great take. And,
Yeah.
But I just don't understand how it would be time efficient.
I also understand with Miles Davis because he has so many train wrecks. So how do you choose?
Yeah, he knew what he was going for, I guess.
He has an amazing thing though, because to be pa pa pa. It's like it doesn't. You have all those people playing those crazy things around him, and it's like no, pa 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 pa.
Well, he did two things. He brought sex into jazz. He made it. He was like a sexy guy in an Italian suit, and that certainly helps sell anything. And I think the kind of player he is. When I was talking to my Italian student, this same exact point came up. But this idea that let's say you're a painter, and you look down at your palette of color, and you just have this moment, and you're like, blue is so beautiful. You know what I mean? It's like it's just such a beautiful color, and then you make a picture that's just blue. You know what I mean? And I feel like those kind of artistic gestures, I don't like them because it's not about showcasing the material to people. It's not about holding a G note. And people that celebrate minimalism really are taking themselves out of the equation and really make you have some sort of meditative experience with the units that make up reality. That's what they're trying to do. Like Jan Garbarek is sort of like that. Miles Davis is sort of like that. Jeff Beck is even sort of like that.
But Miles Davis, if you look at the people that he brought to play with him, it was never people like that.
No,
so
never.
I think he understood that there is a lot of power to what he's doing in contrast to Coltrane.
Right.
Like, because if Coltrane plays all this
Agreed.
crazy stuff, and when he goes and just plays all like crazy stuff,
Yeah, you could not.
It's a lull.
You couldn't survive like a Michael Brecker and Jan Garbarek record, where they're both just playing long notes.
it's basically if you, it's basically if you bring, if you try to hit on a woman and you bring a friend that just screams at her in a language which she doesn't understand for 10 minutes. And then you
seem
go and
charming.
you say, hi,
How are you?
how are you? You're like, this guy,
Yeah, he's better.
this guy's, I get this guy. He gets me and I get him.
Yeah. It's so true. Yeah, and that's you see that in every jam session too. Like
So, Dani and I,
we both scream at you in a foreign
we
language.
was scream at a lady in a foreign language, and
That's
then
why-
once show we bring a bassist to go boom 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 boom, and that's why women don't like Marbin.
The end of our career. Yeah, it's pretty funny. That's pretty accurate. I mean, on the nose. But yeah, the point. I'm not into that kind of playing. That's just that point of minimalism that we allude to again and again and again, and it's a problem for me because I don't care about players that are attempting to remove themselves out of the equation of playing. You know what I mean? It's like that this thing is about you using the materials to do something. It's about you bending them and shaping them and doing things. I don't need that in my life.
Yeah,
I
but I'm
guess.
saying with Miles, it makes sense within the music what he's doing.
Yeah,
That's
it's
what I'm
contrast.
saying.
It's always contrast to the other horn players, to the piano.
Yeah, because Miles doesn't have. Does he even have a quartet album?
I think there's one right before, like in the 50s, where it's just No, I don't know.
That's what I'm
There's
saying.
always a horn player.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm saying.
I don't think there's one where it's just well, maybe there's like a ballads one. I can't think of one.
Yeah, me either. That's exactly what I'm saying. So I think it's a different kind of player because he doesn't do like look at me just doing nothing. It's like here's all this crazy music and I'm gonna give a moment of clarity.
He was just sitting in with like Charlie Parker's band. And he was like, you can't have two guys shredding.
Yeah, I think it'd be like it's too much.
Yeah,
I get it.
Like I just need to play. It's true, actually. In the times where he's playing an awful solo on the Charlie Parker recordings, it's. I mean, I don't mind that. It's like I don't like Dizzy Gillespie at all. So
yeah,
I've always,
exactly right. Would you rather have Milesville?
Yeah, that would be so weird if there are people who listen to like Marbin who like hate how one of us plays.
It happens because some people don't like soprano saxophone for sure. But
Yeah.
we had people, once in a while, me and Dani would get somebody come to us after a show and try to convince us to go on a solo endeavor. It's so strange every time. It's so rude too.
Have you ever? I remember Leonardo wanted me to like sing and play blues.
Yeah, well, that's kind of a producer, but we have fans that do it. That hate the saxophone and come to you and talk to you. And I had people that came to me and I was like,
the gain.
Like, it's like, it really ruins the show. It's like,
It's loud.
what is it doing? And it's like, oh my God, shut up. It's like those people.
I love people who just tell you like, you know, to
I don't care what you
look at
think.
a life choice you've made and just be like, did you think about did you play with the whammy bar?
Well,
odds?
for them, they think it's like, but I'm saying even
Why don't you
to come
stop
to
playing
one of
with
us,
high gain?
to come to one of us and say something like that, it's like, hey, it's like, you know, you're really good. It's like a devil kind of thing in the movie. You're really good. You need to be the star. It's like at least once, you know, back in the day, or the devil, they offered you something for it. It wasn't just like an idiot from the crowd. But it was like, I already came to your show, but I will come to your show again. It's like, go fuck yourself.
Yeah.
You know, my
You're really
brother
feeling
always
that
asked me.
$15 he's hanging over your head.
Yeah, I know. I told my brother we're doing the Gypsy Jazz thing. Because I told him I have good news and bad news. And the good news is we're doing a jazz album with standards. And the bad news is
You already hated the last one.
It's the type of jazz he doesn't like.
But didn't he hate the one we just put out? Russian Dolls?
No, I don't think he listened to it.
Oh.
No, he just hated the Mano Blues, I think.
Okay.
That's what they complain about. But, yeah, it's just... Yeah, because he wants me to play, like, post-bop, basically. Right?
So weird.
I know. And I was like... I told him, listen, I can play a post-bop album. You just need to pay me to make it.
Right.
You know, not even that much.
It would be fun if somebody else paid.
Yeah, exactly. Give me 10 grand.
Could you imagine the
Give me
time
10
of
grand,
late-
I'll do whatever album you want. Like I play post-bop, I'll play whatever you like.
Yeah.
Like, I can play it. He knows I can play it. So it's like if you want to hear it, you can pay for it.
Yeah.
But it's like you want me to pay for what you want to hear. It's like, that makes no sense.
That's true. It's
Yeah.
very true. Yeah. We're supposed... I still have it. I need to send those vinyl to Alaska.
Oh, you did?
I'm going to do it today or tomorrow.
Because I was about to tell them that you sent it, but I was like, maybe you didn't.
I did not, but I'm going. But it's like a record store that's selling our records, and
We have a couple of those.
yeah, it's so weird. Every time I see it, it's. I mean, I've told this story before, but but it was one of the most vivid dreams I had, and I'll tell it again. That I was going to the Jewel Osco, not too far from where I live, and I had our van, and it was full of our CDs. And there was a machine outside. It looked like the red boxes where you rent videos. And I put a CD in, and $10 would come out. And I was like, what? And I did it again and again. Then I went to the van, started dumping all these CDs. And every CD was like $10, $10. And I was just like wads of cash. And I'm calling Dani. I'm like, I found, this is how you do it. You just put it in the machine. It gives you money for the CD. That's what it's worth. And then I woke up, and I couldn't believe it wasn't real. It was so painful. You know, because I really felt like it was like one of those, like a dream where you meet like a perfect woman and you wake up and it's not
You know,
real,
I had a dream last
but
night.
much better than a woman.
I had a dream last
It was
night
money. Yeah.
that Oscar Peterson was playing in this tiny place, just alone, like pianos or something. And I came and met him, and we started playing, and it was great, just me and him. And then I was like, oh, I have to take lessons with him. It would be like, I'm going to be here for 2 months or something. I was like, I have to take lessons with you. It's like, I want to pay you. And he's like, okay, I don't know how about $10 a lesson? Is this cool? And I was like, $10, I don't know, maybe 20. Like I tried to up charge. We had a great time. That's it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
that was a real dream?
Yeah.
Wow.
That was last night.
Wow. You wanted to pay Oscar Peterson 20 whole bucks
For a lesson.
for a lesson.
Instead of $10.
What would you ask him?
I don't know. I
What?
don't know. That's the point of taking the lessons with him. We didn't take the lessons. We played a little bit together, but we didn't take the lessons.
How do he sound?
It's great. I love Oscar Peterson. Just better life.
Even that.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's such a badass. I don't know, man. I wish some people like that were in our lives that can just play the shit out of this music.
You know, it's a weird thing with the time, because we just heard we have a guy that we like in Israel, but
Who?
Jimbo J.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but Dani kind of knows.
Yeah.
I know
little
people
bit.
that knows him a little
Yeah.
bit. But yeah, I met him a couple of times. But anyway, and we like him, and he's a rapper.
Mhm.
And
Really good, though.
Yeah, we like it. So we both like it. He got a new song, and I sent it to Dani. And it's just, some people are just good.
Uh-huh. And anything they do is kind of good.
And
It was always good. It was good when it was kind of bad.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was always kind of awesome.
Yeah.
And it's just, it's just awesome people don't do those things anymore. It's because just there is no money in it, so we never develop it, and you have to have just so many other characteristic, or like was the world like that before, and people that didn't know how to kind of maneuver themselves into the machine never got anything. It's, I don't know, Chico Rea said, there was a quote of Chico Rea that was floating around about how, did I talk about it last podcast?
No.
About how the more yourself, just be yourself. I discover that the more yourself you are, the more money you make. And it's like, I wish you'd be alive again, just so I can
Bitch slap you?
just, kick you to death again. Because it's like, this is so annoying. Like the people from 70s and 80s, when they give business advice, and
Yeah.
they do like business,
Because they don't
music business,
understand.
you don't know what music business
Yeah,
is now.
because you were just you chanced into a moment in time where things operated, where talent was a real commodity, and you could just, and people were just looking
And it was also
to,
scalable all of a
Yeah,
sudden
and-
with CDs.
and people were looking to scale it up. Exactly, people were looking for talent to inflate. So the idea is you're getting paid by a money machine to create products that they can go on and sell in large numbers, and as a byproduct of that, you get more known. Touring and live shows become more available. It's just like everything was career building, and everything was based on growth. And
Yeah, like I
it
said
was possible.
with record stores, it's like you used to have an album out through a label, and then Tower Records or whatever would see, oh, it's a jazz record. Well, let's order like 200,000. It's like, who knows?
Yeah, we don't need a million of
Yeah,
those.
we don't need 40 million. Let's do just like
Yeah, let's start
200,000.
small, 200,000.
Yeah.
Let's
Let's start like
a check-
50,000,
Here's a
yeah.
check for for $2 million. Thank you.
Yeah, let's do a bulk price. 50,000 records for this fusion album from a band that nobody heard of.
And then he's
And
probably
I'll give you like $4 a record. So
Right.
it's $200,000.
and he gets a check in the mail for $70,000.
Yeah.
He's like, that's it.
And that's like the first album, you unknown.
Right. It's like, that's not fair. Artists are getting raped.
Yeah, I need
Yeah.
to yeah.
Come here. I want you to succeed.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
just was people giving business advice. It just drives
Yeah,
me.
it's. But again, it's good advice for 1972. I mean, I think it's true
It
for
is.
that moment in time. You should have been a Keith Jordan, acted like there's no microphone right there and screamed like a little tortured goat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm saying it makes no sense. It's like to hear it today and then to have people post it today as a meme.
Right.
Like, everybody, hey, you don't make money because you're not yourself enough.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I don't know. It's kind of like you got to adapt the advice to the technology. You know what I mean? Like, I'm sure it's a great idea in India to wipe your ass with your left hand. But, there's
Do they still do that?
I don't know. We have people listening in India, so
Tell us.
please. I
Please
want you to write the
in the
podcast.
comments. Write in the comments.
And please tell us if you wipe your hand with your ass, if you want your ass with your hand, or are we just spreading stereotypes?
And if I was still, maybe you're in like a big city or something.
Yeah.
In some villages we do it.
Yeah. I don't know if that's true or not. Anyways.
The great days before Google.
Should we go?
No.
Yeah, we're going to wait for the listenership to kick in.
Hey, Google, Indian man wipes his ass. See what comes up.
Yeah, I don't want to do that. What was I thinking?
Is porn the last place you can be racist?
What do you mean? Just say
just say
you can say gender for sure. I think you can even talk about transsexuals openly when you Google. You can get exactly what you want.
How weird is that?
What, that porn?
What's the last frontier?
Porn is the last frontier?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's weird, man. This the fact that like you have to be like 100% Puritan in every facet of life except for sex, where it's like just fucking anything goes, whatever you feel.
Yeah.
We should probably take a detour away
Yeah.
from this conversation.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
I was
Can you
just thinking
cancel Fusion? I'm always curious how it's like.
Well, we're not saying anything bad that you can cancel us, but yeah.
But I would just want to see what it would look like to get canceled.
Just a lot of people like calling your number and be like, "Fuck you."
And they're probably going to have to like Google us and like listen to a little bit of us playing. They'll be like, what the fuck is but it's like, what the like, fucking weird notes.
Is there a big enough percentage of our people?
I feel like women lead most cancellations and they can't survive our music. So maybe we're immune.
You know how funny it is that we tried to get, like, you know how funny it was that we tried to get somebody to cut our podcast into chunks, and everybody said they would do it, and then
nobody wrote
did
us
it.
back.
No, everybody said we would do it, and then nobody did it, and it's like, I don't know. I feel like a lot of the people that are canceled, you need somebody that don't like you to go ahead and do it.
Absolutely.
Like, why would you look at some? Like, you will never listen to our podcast.
Yeah, you would need to hate listen to us.
Yeah, and it kind of makes sense though to do it to somebody that dabbles in politics or something, or goes on Twitter, because on Twitter it's just there, and if you talk about
just
politics,
takes very little effort. You just because I think people on Twitter keep getting canceled because they put out things that people can hate with the attention span that they're dedicating to reading, which is one sentence.
Yeah, why would you put stuff on Twitter? It's like, why? Like, you're an idiot. It's like you deserve it. You deserve what's coming to you if you put your shit on Twitter.
Yeah, I'm not into it either.
Yeah. Anyway,
it looks like a bad time.
Yeah. Detour to a different.
Oh yeah, I was looking up. So I bought some equipment to like stream better and perhaps do some like make some content. And then I was looking up just non-famous people, not like the great Rick Beato or
the great late Rick Beato.
Or just this guy explaining a bebop scale. Just wanted to look what his video looked like, and it looked so awesome. Like he was the cameras had nice lenses. There was multiple angles. Every time he would talk, there was music playing in the background, like the examples. There was staffs appearing in like animated on the screen as he was talking, and I was like, this motherfucker, for the fucking 50,000 views he got on this video, spent enormous amount of time. Even if he's great at it, you know, it still takes days.
It takes a while to be good at it.
Yeah, so he's sitting there and he's producing it, and this is what he does with his days. The concept is Barry Harris bebop scale. So he's playing in versions of, he's playing drop 2 voicings, and in between he's putting a diminished chord, and he's doing a drop 2, drop 3, drop 2 and 4 on multiple strings. No. And explaining a really basic concept. And he's just trapped in this world of making this video for so many hours. And then he's like, oh, fuck, how do I make the staff appear here? How do I fade it out? I need to do this. And he's just reading like other YouTube videos on how to do things and collecting more tools. And at the end of the day, he spent 2 weeks and he hasn't made any fucking music with the bebop scale.
That's what
And
was great about our lives before, that we would go to real places
and play real
and
music.
play music, but it's not just that playing music was awesome. Our days were awesome. Do you know what I mean?
I just don't want to fucking be a video editor.
We did. I'm just saying, we did a lot, and especially when you were young, we did a lot of crazy shit when you were young.
Yeah.
We have a great time. We have pitches parties. We just did it when we went to record the show. We all got super trashed.
This is the part of the podcast where we talk about how awesome our lives are.
Yeah. And it's great. And it's like those young people, their life are so sad and pathetic.
It's like, dude, like
if you're 20 and what you're doing, 22, I don't know, and what you're doing
editing
is
some video.
videos, like, dude, fuck your life.
Yeah, dude, go finger bang something and drink some vodka. Be a man. Yeah, I know. It's very strange. But what I'm trying to say is that forget how pathetic it is to sit there at home and make content. It's not that. I mean, it's fine, you know. It's not. It's terrible. But let's say it's fine. Doesn't that guy want to make an album?
He probably will.
Because I'm sitting at home, like making a gypsy jazz album. It takes fucking forever to do it right. You know, to track well, to come up with to play good takes, to
much longer than
like,
if we just met and played.
Yeah, but I'm saying still, why aren't you fucking writing music or doing something with your time that's actually going to help people?
Well, because why do you?
And yourself.
Because if you get a lot of views, you're gonna make much more money than how much we're gonna make selling music. That's why.
I know. That's
why I was talking about value and money, but it's not. It correlates, but not perfectly.
People understand they're getting paid by Adidas to just hold people's attention enough to get a flash of commercial? Like you're literally holding the attention of the bebop scale guy hostage for the milk company to be like, hey, 2% skim, blah blah blah.
Do they actually advertise milk?
I don't know. I don't think they actually advertise milk. I think people know.
Did they used to advertise every product, and now we're just doing it for like specific products?
They still advertise ridiculous shit.
Like what?
I don't know. Like I get a lot of music programs. It's like, try to learn guitar.
Oh, I get it a lot. Do you know why?
You
know what's weird to me? How they still didn't figure out not to advertise shit that you just bought.
Oh yeah. Yeah, you buy a vacuum cleaner, it's like, you need 100 more?
I just bought, I just bought a groove ring because it's like a silicone ring. It's so I can...
For your wedding? Like wedding ring?
Yeah, to replace my wedding ring in something that won't completely destroy my finger
For jiu-jitsu?
Yeah, because I have to take it off and on a few times a week, and it's really fucking annoying. And I just see groove ring advertisements nonstop.
Maybe now, they want you to buy one for a friend.
It's $30.
If you like it.
It's $30. And like the amount of advertisements I've been seeing.
On Google, that's expensive too.
Everywhere.
Yeah, they're playing.
On YouTube, on like Google, on Facebook. Like, dude, you're already spending more money than what I spent. Right. I already bought the shit.
But how'd you hear about it?
From a different guy in jiu-jitsu.
Oh.
Because they saw me taking off the ring all the time. And like, hey, you can just get those rings.
Huh.
It's like yeah.
But, yeah, that ring has no power, though.
What do you mean?
The groove ring.
Yeah, it's less power for sure. Doesn't have the power to strip your finger. Somebody told me to Google it to see if there was injuries, like why you don't roll with a ring. It's like, oh my God.
It's bad?
It's so bad.
I can imagine.
It's so bad. They're like, how would it happen that the ring just will strip your... It gets caught in the gi, and it takes your the meat off. Oh. It's like it takes everything off. Yeah.
That sounds disgusting.
It is disgusting.
All right, let's wrap up. So we're switching mainly to YouTube from Facebook for content. I don't know. I want to make something, but it's gonna be laid back.
Well, we're home. We're home. What can we do?
There's not gonna be any of that fancy fucking waste of time. I'm not showing you the staff.
Wait, can I say something else?
You fucking write it on your own staff.
Can I say something else about the money thing? I saw a Ben Askren.
A what?
Ben Askren. You remember him? He was in MMA for a second. He was an Olympic wrestler, and he was in MMA for a second.
Okay.
No one. You probably will recognize him if you see the picture. And he said that when he was an Olympic wrestler, right, and he was considered very good. He was one of the best in the world. He made $30,000 a year.
What?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, that's why the reason why a lot of us people do MMA is because they make no money.
Yeah.
Like there's no money. Like even with big jiu-jitsu competitions, like the biggest, it's like we have a lot of people there, but they make no money. So like I don't remember the sums, but it's ridiculous because you have insane. What they said, I saw somebody that's one of the main jiu-jitsu guys basically in the world in the last maybe 10 years. And he said that most top jiu-jitsu people, like the people that win those championships, like the biggest championships, they don't make enough money to cover the medical expenses for all the injuries that they have because of jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
Right? So it's like there is just no money in it.
Yeah.
And I could really, like you can't cover all the injuries you get from playing fusion. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, it's kind of the same thing. So the content thing, yeah,
so
we have to.
You're saying that, like, as a person, you're just drawn to all the things you can't make money in.
Yeah, I'm also saying that.
Well, you can always use your Spanish and go to Mexico and find a real job.
Yeah, exactly. I can go to where money is actually worth it. Where I can make thousands of
Pesos.
Yeah. But no, I'm saying that motherfuckers press on Amazon after you watch our video and just buy shit on Amazon. You know you want to.
Yeah. So, youtube.com/MarbinMusic, Facebook.com/MarbinMusic2. We're there.
Let's
buy merch at MarbinMusic.
And buy Amazon. Just press when you go to Amazon.
We didn't put links yet, but we will one day.
Can we do it soon though?
One day. Yeah,
Just
I don't know how to do it.
ask Mason.
All right. See you guys later. Bye-bye.